Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ground and Pound Podcast, Dog of the Week video for UFC 318. And as always, this video is designed to give you my favorite betting underdog on the entire card, the one that I think has the most probability of cashing for us as a plus money underdog. And if you're enjoying the content here, hit that like and subscribe button. And without further ado, this week's Dog of the Week is going to be...
Exactly what are you looking for, Apollo?
This is what I'm looking for. The Italian Stallion.
That's right, people. Marvin, the Italian Dream Vittori here is going to be this week's Dog of the Week, my favorite betting underdog. And if you enjoyed that highlight reel tape, hit that like and subscribe button for your boys here on the Ground and Pound podcast as we talk a little bit about this matchup, some keys to victory. And when you look at this matchup here between Marvin Vittori and Brandon Allen, these two have bad blood. They had a backstage brawl at a PFL event sometime last year. They've been waiting to get their hands on each other, and I think that plays into Vittori's hands. He's talked about in the past about being a very emotional fighter. The more emotional he is, the better he is, the more aggressive that he is. I think that plays right into his hands to be wanting to beat up a guy like Brandon Allen that he has bad blood with. Also as well, Vittori's talked a little bit about this week about losing his younger brother, unfortunately. And that, obviously, him being very close to his younger brother is going to be a big motivational factor for him in this fight. And like I said, I think an emotional Vittori is definitely a confident Vittori coming into this fight. I think it's going to make him very dangerous. And I think that Brandon Allen is going to be in some serious trouble here. And we're going to cash here as an underdog. I can't understand exactly why Vittori is this much of a big underdog. I do think that Vittori should be closer to a favorite, or if not, a pick'em. And when we talk a little bit about keys to victory here in this matchup against Brandon Allen, I think Vittori here, he does a fantastic job of being able to always score and always keep himself in the front of the judges' minds. You've seen a lot of his fights. He taps the low kick. He uses the jab very, very well. So when both fighters are standing at range, he's always trying to score, just to get up on the points, get up on the judges' scorecards, and just overall land a little bit more volume, just because of the fact that it's a smart game plan for him coming into fights, just to use those little increment weapons throughout the course of a fight, just to stay in the front of judges' minds. And the second key to victory here for me against Brandon Allen is I think that Vettori can be a bully against a guy like Brandon Allen. So I want to see him use a little bit of his wrestling. He's been going back and forth tit for tat striking matches in his previous fights. I think that he can come in here and maybe use a little bit of his wrestling, be a little bit of a bully. A size advantage here for Marvin Vettori is definitely present. And when you see a guy like Brandon Allen, he likes to spend a lot of time on his back. He likes to play the jiu-jitsu game. And I think Vettori has fantastic takedown defense. He can implement the wrestling on his own terms. If he can get on top, he can use some ground and pound. He can use elbows. And I think that really he could just sit in half guard and beat up a guy like Brandon Allen, who's happy to play jiu-jitsu off of his back. And we know that with Vettori, he trains with some high-level grapplers himself. He's recently, since his last fight, moved over to American Top Team. I think that would be a great path to victory for him and a great game plan that they could implement here against a guy like Brandon Allen. And Brandon Allen makes a lot of low fight IQ mistakes in there. We see in one of his previous fights that he'll be winning a striking exchange and all of a sudden he'll jump on his opponent's back. I think that's going to get him caught, and that's going to lead to him suffering a loss here against a guy like Marvin Vettori. As long as Marvin stays solid. That's going to be the third key to victory here, is just for Marvin to stay solid in this matchup. Let Brandon Allen make the mistakes. Let him be emotional. Let him fight outside of his comfort zone. Let him make those low fight IQ mistakes for you to capitalize on. Don't give him anything to go off of here. Don't be overly zealous in certain points in this fight. Make sure that you stay solid and make sure he makes the mistakes for you to capitalize on here to get back in the win column. I think Vettori does that here. And if you're enjoying the content here on the Ground and Pound podcast and you plan on tailing along, hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Dog of the week, Marvin Vettori. Peace.